businesses' offices over someone's diary before their dad was even president?
The whole thing from beginning to end, Dana, is an absolute disgrace. And I say that as a civil rights attorney of nearly 3 decades in this country. Not only did our client, a journalism outfit for over a decade, in the normal course of business, get a tip and then evaluate it. And then after not being able to verify it, and by the way, the Biden campaign and Ashley Biden were given an opportunity through counsel to verify that this document is real. They refused to do that. And so our client decided not to run the story, turned it into law enforcement a year ago. So on election day, a year ago, is when it was turned into law enforcement. And that was the end of it until fast forward 2 weeks ago, when not only James's home was raided, but 2 days before that, 2 former Project Veritas journalists' homes were raided. And in each case, I'm very confident in saying that the Department of Justice tipped off the New York Times, because the New York Times was Johnny on the spot to ask for comment within minutes of each of these raids. No other journalism outfit was. That can only mean one thing to me. And then we had the very other troubling circumstance of the New York Times publishing privileged legal communications between Project Veritas and its lawyers days after the DOJ seizes the phones. Now, I can't say with certainty that the DOJ leaked that information to the New York Times. What I can say with certainty is that it's very troubling that the DOJ even had the tip-off about the raids to our litigation opponent, the New York Times. And so on those phones, Dana, included not just our client's source materials and information of current sources reporting on the administration, big tech, and big pharma, but also multiple legal memos and communications, including my legal memos with my client. I'm suing for Project Veritas against CNN and Twitter, and also private donor information. So all of these categories of information are probably far more valuable to the United States government than some communications about a diary they don't possess and that they never published.
And I keep thinking, we're talking to Harmeet Dhillon, a civil rights attorney who's representing Project Veritas in this case. I look at the story and I keep thinking this normally would be a local law enforcement issue if it was an issue of theft or, et cetera. But you have the DOJ having the FBI executing this warrant, treating it like a federal crime. Well, if they're treating it like it's a federal crime, what federal crime are they responding to?
So, excellent question. We have a search warrant that the DOJ got from a federal judge. So they privately told something to a federal judge. We do not know what, because the application for a search warrant prior to any kind of criminal indictment is not public, and we don't get a chance to review it. We don't know what they told the feds, but Tom Cotton, Senator Cotton, has asked the DOJ to disclose that information, as has a not conservative journalism organization. The Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press has filed a motion in our case asking the DOJ to disclose what grounds they used. Because, Dana, not only is it obviously not a federal offense here, if any, and nobody's been indicted and we haven't been given notice that our client's under investigation, but more importantly, the DOJ has very specific guidelines that govern this type of situation with respect to journalists. This DOJ put out a memo in July of this year saying that they're going to change tack from prior administrations, and they're not going to issue search warrants or subpoenas to journalists other than in cases of somebody about to be killed or evidence that the journalist themselves was involved in a crime. I don't think they have that evidence in this case. I feel very confident to say they don't have that evidence. And so why did the DOJ ignore its own guidelines as well as United States Supreme Court precedent that says that it is actually perfectly legal for a journalist to publish stolen information and stolen materials? I mean, look at the Pentagon Papers, look at all of the leaks out of the Trump White House. All of that is stolen information, and nobody came with a battering ram and 10 FBI agents to Maggie Haberman of the New York Times' home, or any of the Washington Post reporters, or Brian Stelter's home, or any of the other liberals who have published stolen information. So the double standard here is troubling, but more importantly, this is a civil rights issue. Our clients' civil rights have been violated, and as soon as we get the subpoena situation cleared up, that's going to be the next step.